Just like we did with our timing chapter, we're going to use a bouncing ball as our learning tool and practice for slow in and slow out. We'll use a version of the bouncy ball in every chapter. Instead of starting a brand new file from scratch, we're going to make a new and updated version of the bouncing ball we made in the last chapter. To open that file, we need to click on File, Open, and navigate to bouncing-ball1 timing.fla. Make sure you're up here in your computer animation folder. Once I have that file open, I need to make sure I can see my artwork. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to select Show Frame to make sure I can see everything on the screen at once. Perfect. Now if we were to start working directly in this file, making changes and then saving it, we would erase the work we had done for Chapter 1, and we don't want to do that. We want to leave this file as it is, but create a new version. To do this, we're going to go back up to the File menu. We're going to select Save As from the menu. The application will ask us to give our file a new name. To keep it consistent, let's name it Bouncing Ball 2 Slow In Out, since that's the principle we're working with this time. Click on Save. And now if you look at the file name at the top of the screen, you can see that you're working on your Chapter 2 lesson, Slow In Out, instead of your timing lesson from Chapter 1. Now we just did a couple of different things in about a minute and a half. The first thing we did, we opened our file from Chapter 1, our timing file. When we click on Open in the menu, it always opens up an existing file that we already started, we already named, and we already saved. The next thing we did, we selected Save As from the File menu. Whenever we use Save As, it saves a file for the first time with a brand new name, or, what we just did, we saved a copy of an existing file for the purpose of creating a new version. You always need to give your new version a new name. We named ours Bouncing Ball 2 Slow In Out. Saving and naming your file correctly and consistently is so important. If you don't do this and if you're not careful, it's going to become very difficult to keep track of your files, your projects, and you're going to end up spending a lot of time just looking for work that you've already done. The third menu option that we're also going to be using a lot is Save. This saves the most recent updates to the file you are currently working on. So once we start making changes to this Bouncing Ball 2 file, we're just going to click Save every few minutes to make sure we keep saving the most recent updates. We don't need to make a copy of it. We don't need to start a new file. We're just going to continue pressing Save. You need to make sure that you save your file often. So pretty much after every significant change that you make, or every 5 minutes. Doing so helps protect you from losing your work. The other rule to remember is don't ever leave the class without saving your work first. If you do that, there's nothing anyone can do to get your files back if you don't save before exiting. So now that we're all set up with our new file, let's quickly just review what we did before we get started on our animation. We first opened a finished file. Bouncing Ball 1 Timing was the name of it. We went to File and Save As to make a new version. We gave the new file a new name that was consistent with the previous file. This one we named Bouncing Ball 2 Slow In Out. And now we're ready to get going.